think all of us want permanent at-home hair removal, but how exactly do IPL devices work? How do you choose the right one? Are they worth it? Are you actually gonna get results like an in-person laser hair removal? We're gonna get into everything because razor burn, more razor burn, and irritation and annoyance, and I'm epically lazy and epically wanting to get laser hair removal in person, but it's very expensive per session and you have to go a lot. And that means a lot of money and a lot of reoccurring visits and a lot of intimate areas. And I wasn't per se down for that, or at least my wallet wasn't.
Help me, I'm poor.
And it's still in general, no matter what device you're using, your hair is still gonna grow back at whatever rate your hair follicle grows back. And mine has a tendency of growing back, I feel like, after I blink a few times after I shave. And when I heard that these laser hair removal devices were now coming into our homes at an affordable price, I was all here for it because I am the first person to do it myself instead of paying someone else to do it. One device is usually around the price of one to a few visits at an actual laser hair removal place. So I'm gonna do a separate video vlogging and testing out the device that I got and showing you guys my results and talking about like my pros and cons of the whole entire experience, just a very behind the scenes aspect of it. But today I want to go over what exactly these devices are, how they work, how I chose the one that I got. I'm keeping the brand unnamed. You could probably figure it out if you research it, but not the point. I want to keep it unnamed because it's more about IPL devices, less about the specific device I chose. You have to choose what's right for you specifically. Now, IPL means intense pulse light, and IPL devices use polychromatic light and low levels of infrared light, and it targets the melanin found in your hair and skin, and it's most present at the root of your hair follicles. Blah, 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 sciencey things. Supposedly, it gets rid of that hair follicle with time. Some will grow back and need to be retargeted later. Some will be more stubborn than others. And that is why it's not a perfect science on how long it's going to take you to get results. But ideally, it's going to be a more long-term solution to getting rid of the hair. Now, that being said, I've narrowed down picking the right IPL device to 8 factors that we are going to go over. The first one is going to be price, hair pigment / your skin tone, number of flashes, flash speed, window size, ice cooling technology, and your treatment time. How long will it take you to get results? Now, the first one we're gonna go over is the price because, well, I'm a cheapskate and I didn't want to pay the in-person price, so I also don't want to pay a crazy at-home price. So I went for the lower end at under $200 on sale, but that's not the cheapest end. You can get ones even cheaper than that, but I don't know if I per se believe in those as much as ones that are, you know, at least $100. And also they're FDA cleared, or FDA, whatever you call it. The FDA got involved and said, A-okay. Not sure how much that per se means, but it makes me feel better inside. But whatever price range you are looking in, there are some devices that are gonna automatically be ruled out of your pool depending on your hair color and your skin tone. I do have a slight advantage because I am very pale. I also have mostly black hair on my body. I am naturally like a dirty blonde. So it's like if I want to do like some other parts of my body, it wouldn't be as ideal, but most of my hair is very dark, surprisingly, except my eyelashes. I dye those, and my actual hair on my head. That both of those are light and would not be the ideal situation, but everywhere I want to do, like my legs, my bikini line, my arms, for the most part, they're darker hairs, so I fit into a very good pool. I have a lot more device options, but if you have lighter hair, like you're trying to do blonde hair or gray hair, especially gray hairs, almost all devices cannot do gray hair, and a lot of devices cannot do blonde hair, and most devices cannot do darker skin tones. Especially the darker you go, the less options you have, because the technology, it has to be very specifically geared towards darker skin, because again, it's trying to target the hair follicle, the melanin, and if you have a lot of melanin in your skin, it means it needs to be more geared towards that. Now that you've narrowed it down to one you can afford and one that will work for your specific body, it means that you have to consider flashes. So flashes are the number of times the device can flash before basically it's kaput. So the amount of times it can go zappy, 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 but it doesn't really go zappy, zappy, zappy. It more goes like turning on the flashlight on your phone, like boop, boop, boop. How many times can it do the lights? And that depends on the specific device that you are getting, but I found most of them are pretty high, because if you have 250,000 flashes, that's 20 years approximately that the device will last before it goes kaput and can no longer let out the lights. And most of us are not going to be keeping our device for 20 years, so I can't imagine you needing more than that, because ideally you're going to get results sooner than that, and we don't honestly keep things for 20 years anymore. So for the most part, I don't really think the flashes makes that big of a difference. But if you see a number that's really low on maybe like an Amazon device that's like 50 bucks or something, then maybe you shouldn't consider it. You want enough flashes to get you through the whole entire removal and to do touch-ups down the road if a hair follicle comes back in. But I can't imagine you'll be doing touch-ups 20 years down the road with the same device. We're probably not going to keep it. Let's be honest here. Now the next thing is flash speed, which is different than the number of flashes. Flash speed is something I didn't per se consider when I was looking into my device, because I didn't really think about it and I didn't research that aspect of it. Definitely makes a difference in how quickly you can get a session done. You do need to do multiple sessions. A lot of devices, you're doing one session a week for a period of time, and that depends on the device. Some have a longer wait time than others. We'll get into it. But either way, the flash speed is, there's a delay between the flashes. It just doesn't go flash, 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 flash. It has like kind of like flash, space, flash, space, flash, space. And that space between there is longer depending on the device. So you want to try to research that best you can, and the faster the speed, the faster you're going to be able to do a section on your body. And the next thing that's going to play a big difference in how quickly you can get a session done, and this is a session, not results, this is a session. And the sessions can be a lot longer than others, like I said, depending on that flash speed and also the window size. So on the device, there's a little window, which this is where the light comes out. Ignore if mine's dirty at all, but either way, this window right here is a certain size, and some devices will be like half this size, some devices will be a little bit bigger, and there's pros and cons to both depending on what area you want to work on. Because if you have a larger window size, larger device, it's going to be hard to do more intimate areas like your bikini line or your mustachio or your beard, but it will be a lot faster with a larger window to do something like your legs. So if your legs are your priority, I would root for a bigger window for sure, because it honestly can take a while. A lot of them say it takes like 10 minutes to do your whole legs, and I don't believe that. Maybe I'm a perfectionist in getting multiple areas, but I never in my life of doing this, aka meaning I started this not even 2 months ago, but either way, not the point. I never finish a session in 10 minutes. Not even if I'm doing it quickly over like a smaller area, it still takes me more than 10 minutes. I sit down and I do it in front of the TV, but it still takes me longer than that. And I have a reasonably sized window in comparison to some of the other devices. So I would definitely shoot for a larger window size. Even if you want to do a bikini and your mustache and all of that, I still think you could do it with a larger device, because none of them are huge. They're not like this big or something where you can just go, yep! You know how convenient that would be though? Like if I could just get one the length of my leg and go zap, 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 that would be fantastic. But I have not seen that on the market, at least in the price range I was looking. Maybe that's again the benefits of going in person. They maybe have better technology than the ones available online. Now as for ice cooling, so they say that this process is pain-free, and I personally have started using it and know what the pain is like, and I'll go more into it on the vlog side where I go behind the scenes and show you guys what the whole process is like. But in the general sense of things, I understand that at no point is it really painful. But there's certain areas that I find are a bit spicy. And one of the reasons why they're a bit spicy is it kind of gets warm and tangly, and not per se in a good way, not a painful way, but definitely not a comfortable way in certain areas. I've mainly noticed it on further in than the bikini line and in the booty. That area can get a bit spicy. I think it's especially if you miss hairs on shaving, that gets extra spicy. If you have a longer hair and it isn't shaved off, I've noticed that can be a little bit but it's not to the point where I think you per se need this ice cooling technology, but it might be beneficial, especially if you have a lower pain tolerance. And what it is the device is supposed to cool the skin and and remove that maybe extra sensation you might get at certain times. I never really got it on my legs anywhere, so that wasn't a problem. Though I did accidentally touch the corner of my tattoo once. Do not touch your tattoos. 1, does not feel good. 2, not good for your tattoo or your skin. Yeah, no. Don't touch tattoos. But either way, that point aside, if you have more sensitive skin, you might want a device that has the ice cooling technology. It's kind of on the newer side, and a lot of only newer models have this on them, and they're also usually a little bit more expensive than the one that I got. It does not have the ice cooling. I'm still gonna use it. I still think it's a perfectly fine option. But again, you're more sensitive, you probably want ice cooling. Now, the other thing I want to go into is the modes that the device has. So it'll have intensity levels. So obviously you want one that has a high enough intensity level for your specific hair color and skin tone and all of that. And you might just want one higher to get faster results possibly. Each one has different ratings on their intensity levels. So I'm not sure you'd learn that much from them saying, oh, we have 4 intensity levels, because their 4 intensity levels might not be the same as someone else's 4 intensity levels. But the thing you do want to pay attention to more is the mode on how the zapping works. Like, how do the flashes work? And some of them, you click a button and it goes flash. Click, flash, click, flash, click, flash. I can't show you guys the flashing like this because it has to sense skin. And it also has to be plugged in. Some devices are wireless, some are not. There's pros and cons to both. That's personal choice. But back to the modes. Modes. I would not want a device that I had to click each time, because you would click so many times just to do the tiniest section of your body. You'd be like click, 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 click. And there's also delays. So it's like click, 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 click. That would get so gosh darn annoying. So some of them have a mode where you hold it down and then it switches over to auto sensing, and it'll zap each time it senses skin. So as you move, it'll go zap, 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 zap. And I think that is a must. Do not get a device that does not have the mode that will auto zap you, because it will just take you so long and your hand would be so sore clicking. But I also would say you want a device that doesn't just auto sense, but also has the button to click, because there are certain areas where I wouldn't really per se want to have an auto sense. Like when I do my bikini, I click it a lot of times when I get to certain areas, and also like my face, I wouldn't want to auto sense. I would want to do it myself. And then the next thing is treatment time. Each device is going to basically advertise a time that it thinks it's going to take you to get results. Some of them will base it on twice a week, some of them will base it on once a week, and also it's a general, usually people see results by. And again, I'm not sure how much you can learn from it because there's no guarantees in that statement there, but I would say some of them are open about having a longer result time, and you should look at that. Most of them do say it. So if they're saying it's double the result time of another device that costs a little bit more, then it might be worth spending a little bit more to get results faster. Because the thing about the longer results, it's not just, oh, it's gonna take longer. You have to do more sessions, and sessions take time out of your day, not just time over the long run. You have to do it more times. So I'm like, if I have to do it double the amount of times, I would rather get a device a little bit more expensive so I have half the sessions to do, and it'll take half the time if I actually remember to do it every single week. Now, I would say the ones that advertise doing it twice a week, most likely you're not going to do it twice a week. I am telling you now, I went into the process thinking I am definitely going to do it twice a week, every single week. And one, my hair stopped growing fast enough to really do it twice a week. And also, I will admit, I barely have enough motivation to do it once a week, let alone twice a week. So ignore the twice a week statements. You're only going to do it once, and you're also probably going to miss it certain weeks. You know, try your best, but you're not going to do it twice a week. I promise you, you're not. Now, overall, that is the general gist of it. The IPL device is like laser hair removal, and my personal experience on the pain level, what my results were, how quickly I saw it, the pros and cons, the things I noticed personally trying it out, will be coming soon once I finish my window that it said it would take me. And after that is done, I will definitely show you guys all the behind the scenes clips and talk about my opinions and sit down with you guys. But for now, please, please, please hit the like and subscribe button down below. I post a new video every single Wednesday helping you figure out adulting while I'm attempting to figure it out myself, and I hope you have a great rest of your morning, evening, night, whatever it is for you. I'll see you Wednesday.